I made 2 horror short films about my childhood trauma, and they saved my life. In my previous video, I talked about my experiences with my abusive dad and how I transformed what I've been through into a film. I also mentioned there is another film, so this is my second film. It's actually my graduation film. Creating the first film allowed me to open up for the first time about my life without feeling guilty most of the time. I no longer doubted my sanity or questioned my memories, and it really gave me the courage to speak up. And my graduation project was, of course, another short animation film. It was a bigger project on a bigger scale. At that point, the gaze shifted a little bit from my father to my mom. My mom, she was a passive figure in my house when I really needed protection and I needed someone to be there for me to stand up against my father in abusive situations. She never did. She always looked the other way, and I remember feeling betrayed by her. Back then, I couldn't protect myself. I was just a child and she was the adult. She could do something and she didn't. I thought, why didn't she protect me? Why did she leave me there to face my father alone? I was the one who stood up for her against him, not the other way around. I wanted to show a story with more layers. The first movie, it was mainly about my dad, and now I wanted to portray 2 different messages in less than a 5-minute film. The film premise was eyes. You can look, but you can choose not to see. You can lie to yourself long enough, and those lies can become your reality. And the way you choose to view the world will influence your thoughts and then your actions. So I took this entire concept and I got to work, but there was something really crucial I had to do first. At the time, me and my mom, we were very close, and I rehearsed this conversation countless times, but I remember I opened my mouth, I started crying. I really wanted to talk to her about the movie. I wanted to be honest with her about my project because I love her, and I wanted her to know that I feel no resentment towards her. It was a pretty tough conversation, I'm not gonna lie, but at the end, we hugged and we laughed, and she told me how much she loved me and she is proud of me. For me, that was the best outcome I could have hoped for. But even with all of that settled, I still felt really ashamed of my feelings. I really questioned whether or not I will be able to pull this off. I wanted to portray the father's abusive behavior and narcissistic traits, the mother's deliberate ignorance, the younger brother whose naivety is crushed, and the daughter who just lost all hope of change. Or has she? I'm not gonna tell you. The film will be available at this time and you can decide for yourself. Back to the film, I faced 3 major challenges. The first challenge was the main story. I wanted to portray an emotional abuse and manipulation in a silent film. You probably ask yourself, how do you do that? I don't know how I did that. It took me the whole year to figure out. I didn't mention it in my last video, but both of my films are deeply influenced by my personal life. The house in both of the films is nearly an exact replica of my childhood home. I drew it from memory because I haven't been living there for the past maybe 5 or 6 years. I made it my mission to make it as close looking as my actual life. And not a lot of people that watched the movie know me from back then. So when my family and my close friends watch it, they have a completely different experience because I recognize this. I guess it's even more haunting when you actually been there. I just wanted you to know it's like a fun fact. The second challenge was the art style. When I began working on the movie, I started with monochromatic reds like the previous film, but it didn't feel right. I wanted the colors to better reflect the more nuanced story, and I felt the colors need to be more specific. I went back and forth with countless different variations, but at the end I found the right combo. Red for anger, violence, and aggression, blue for depression and coldness, and purple for mourning and cruelty. The film starts very vibrant and it gradually transitions to a darker, eerie colors. The third challenge was naming the film. Last time I named my film after my childhood home address, though I kept it pretty vague because I wanted to convey that you never know what happens behind closed doors. right? It could be any family. There are families like mine everywhere. And this time, I wanted the name of the film to be even more personal. And then I think mid-year, one of my friends commented about my name, and he said, your name is really specific to your project. And I'll explain, okay? So my name is Avia, and it means my father is Lord. 25 years old, and I never thought about that. And something just clicked, and I decided to name my movie after me. I felt by doing so, I made my film truly my own. Also, on the side, I taught myself how to create lighting effects, and I animated nearly 40 shots. I learned a lot of things for the first time for this film, but I completed my film on time. We also had a beautiful graduation exhibition. I was really proud to be a part of it. My film was featured in festivals around the world, and I even received some photos from their screening, and also won a few awards. That was really nice. By the way, I have another little story to share with you. Not long after my exhibition, I visited my mom's house, and we were looking through old pictures of me, and we came across this photo of me. I think I was around 7 or 8. You could see me making a wish on a cake that missed a piece. And my mom was really casual. She was like, it's probably your father that ate that piece. And then she looked at me and I looked at her. We were both in shock. There is a birthday scene in my film. My dad never remembered my birthday. He never bought me gifts for my birthday, so let alone celebrated my birthday with me. That never happened. And I had no recollection of this cake incident. It's as if my subconscious mind knew something that maybe I repressed this memory. I don't know. It's so bizarre. It happened twice now with both of my films, and each time is even more weird than the other. I know it might seem now a bit abstract. It will make sense, I promise. Before we close this video off, I want to leave you with a sentence my therapist used to tell me. We can't change others, we can only change ourselves. And then the people in our lives will either learn to change as well or no longer be a part of our lives. It took me a long time to fully accept and understand what she meant, but when I did, it really changed everything. I applied this approach with my dad. I stopped trying to prove myself to him. Instead, I focused on discovering who I really am, because I used to have his voice in my head. All the harsh ways I used to talk to myself, that was me internalizing his voice. And I felt more like myself than I ever felt in my life. After I graduated, I realized that I wasn't angry at my dad anymore. Even though he did this in a way that was hurtful, there were still a lot of good memories I had from him. And after doing so much work on myself, I could finally let this all go. And on my 26th birthday, my dad reconnected with me again. It's still hard for him to actually say it out loud, but we started building a relationship again little by little, and people were worried about me on the comments from my previous video. I just wanted to say that me and my dad are okay now. He will never have the same power over me because I'm not that kid anymore. There is the sentence that forgiving is healing, because at the end of the day, you're not forgiving the other person for them, you're forgiving them for yourself. When you choose to forgive, you choose to heal. This is what I believe. There is a lot of nuance here. I just wanted to share with you that I'm okay and that I hope you're doing okay too. And no matter what you chose to do and how you chose to deal with the toxic person in your life, your choice is always, always valid. I want you to remember that. So I wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, really. The reason I make animation is because I wanted to give other people the space and let them know that they're not alone with their emotions and their feelings. I know how it feels to think that you're the only one who's going through this hell. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to check the description box. There's all my socials there. Also, I opened a little online shop at Buy Me a Coffee. I sell film posters there, and every purchase will help me continue making YouTube full time. I'm super excited. So if you like the movies and you want to have a little poster of your own, it's a really exciting thing. I also have Fiverr for commissions if it's something that you might be interested in. So please let me know in the comment section down below. I really want to hear from you. And I'll wrap this video now, okay, with one last thing I wanted to tell you guys. Don't stop doing what you love. I never imagined in a million years that people will be interested in a random video about me and my horror film. I truly believe everyone has their unique story and voice. So again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!